Okay, here we are, we're going. 0 viewers. Okay. So let's have a look at my channel. 95, whoa, 95 subscribers. I've gained a lot of subscribers. So this is because I've been advertising. I've been advertising my YouTube channel. So let's have a look at the messages. New subscriber. Okay, so this is I've seen up until here. So this is new things. Money, 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 me, money, 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 me, more, me, money, money. Okay. Kailash, so we have no idea what that person like thinks actually. Anoikum, I don't know how you say. Um, so yeah, so I've got, well, it's weird because the YouTube thing like says I've like it just mentions 2 subscribers, but actually now I have 95 and I was like at 85. So I actually gained 10 subscribers, but it only tells me like 2. Um, chill out zone. Think without money, think non-verbally. So this is the same person who said money, money. Uh, Again, I'd see this. The problem with these comments, it doesn't really mean anything. This is not like fruitful discussion, unfortunately. So I'm glad that they're just people commenting at all, simply because uh, I'm glad people are commenting at all, simply because I think it helps with the like the YouTube algorithm and stuff. Um, and let's see, is there any viewer? If there's a viewer here, oh yeah, no one need to be poor caveman. Um, so okay, so you're watching me. Hello, boobers69. Um, d if you can say like, okay, would you like to discuss things? So I'm just, crypto is the future. Okay, so I'll have to delete this message. Well, I won't do it right now since I've got already a viewer. Um, so, okay, so we've seen this. If you would like, if Boober69, you'd like to comment about things, since you're, you're right now my sole viewer, now that I just started streaming just in general and also just started the session. If there's something in particular. The title of your video sounds like you're a caveman. No, oh, you think that like, no, that's, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. No, that's actually a phrasing you can do, like, I don't know, maybe, I feel like it's a phrasing you can do to say no one need be poor. It's like no one need be something, or something need be something else. It's like a way. It's actually an accepted way to say things. Um, like I don't know. It's like subjunctive or something. Like it's a sort of weird thing, but um, yeah, it's look it up. Look it up if you don't. If you don't believe me, look at it. Right, like something need be something, and you'll see what I mean. Would you like me to discuss that? I mean, you can go eat your bugs and what things. Okay, okay. Well, would you like to actually discuss? Because it's very much in fact, you can see in a previous video of mine. Sorry. In a previous video of mine, how I was discussing precisely my new sort of theory of the okay, so what are you doing here if you're like, no, I don't give a fuck. I need to have like the problems I'm recording here, but I'm recording this to post on YouTube, but if I don't have a proper audience, um, if I don't have a proper audience, this is not useful. I mean, it's useful because then I'll post it and then people will see it. So um, do I need to like I don't know what to do at this point. Um, hey Bozo. Hello, Nsing. Hello. Thank you for following me immediately. Um, so would you like to discuss something? Boober69 is just trolling here so far. Um, do you Nsing? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is there anything in particular you'd like to discuss since you're my only viewer just right now so far? Um, I mean, I've had viewers in the past, luckily. Now I've got 5 followers, I think. Um, because otherwise I don't know. So well, just look at his comments and that you can see what he's doing. But anyway, so what I was saying that the caveman thing actually brought to mind the fact that, well, the my conception of the what I call the three stages of human evolution, which is a way of conceptualizing, well, both like, the progress of like civilization and uh, things like political ideology. Um, and so my conceptualization is, so I call it them stages. So I call actually stage zero, stage one, and stage two. So I call it the first stage is stage zero simply because like you're not at all a human yet at stage zero. You're still, a non-human animal, what I've been often calling like a theroid. And there, what I what characterizes that stage is that you basically are driven by instinct. No, no, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a scientist. When I'm in stage zero, so again, you see, you're just sort of saying random stuff, but no. Um, your stage zero is fundamentally about what I call animality. Um, and it's also what I'd call like chaviness. I don't know if you're like British, you've got these sort of poor, sort of lower class people loitering around. I feel that that's very related to stage zero. It's where you're kind of driven by instinct, and fundamentally you're not driven by cooperation or tribal cohesion as the stage one typically is. So stage one is this is the mindset that has prevailed among humans up until today. So stage one for me is really, it includes, what we call like cavemen, and it goes then also to encompass civilized societies up until now. And so what distinguishes stage one is that, like, so stage zero, your purpose is to like just win individually, is to, outcompete other individuals, and like in particular, one of the most obvious way that shines out is within males who have to compete for access to females, and which gives rise to all that this sort of interest-specific competition specifically for that purpose, which manifests itself in behaviors. Uh, yeah. Uh, I'm not gonna. Um. Anyway, so it manifests itself in the sort of behaviors like well, precisely what gets called as sort of typical masculinity, which is things like dominance and aggressiveness and yeah, so that is, and what I often call chaviness, which is where you see these sort of people just sort of being a bit loutish and trying to just sort of out alpha each other. And that is typical of stage zero. But then the thing is that in all sort of typical societies, which is like up to today, so you've got all these societal rules, which often go counter to the stage zero mindset, which is about doing things just for your own sake. So in stage one, you'll often do things that benefit your society, even if they don't benefit you individually. Which is why, for instance, so in stage zero, you have this tendency towards polygyny, where females tend to flock towards the same few males. And in stage one, often, for instance, there are rules that go counter to that. And you'll have a more egalitarian system among males so that they sort of share the females amongst each other. And and so what we're seeing then is that, so finally, we're starting to see the development of stage two. So what I call stage one is the, what I call stage one is what I call the subhuman. And what I call then stage two is human. And so for me, the first real strong development of stage two was in the 18th century with the so-called Enlightenment movement. And so what distinguishes stage two ideology is that you think and do things rationally. So you go, in a way, you go back to being more individualistic because you care again about the individual and about treating all individuals fairly, um, which is not really the case in stage one, where all you care about is helping out your society, and you don't even realize that you're doing that. So you have all these societal rules designed to help your like your tribe against another tribe, your kingdom against another kingdom, but you don't realize that that's what those rules are for. You think those rules are actually inherently good, so you actually confuse morality with simply rules that help the survival of your tribe. And so, well, with these Enlightenment ideals, we realize that these things don't correspond to morality, and as such they're kind of irrational, at least at the level of the individual. And so we say, well, let's get rid of that, right? So we say let's get rid of that, and I absolutely agree with that. Um, but then, so what you'll notice is that you have some people that, lots of current, oh, you're a new follower. Well, thank you. And anyway, yeah, I'm peeking at a chat because it's not like it's basically not really your chat is not really interesting. So like I reply to the chat if there's actually something interesting. So basically there's stage 2 is about rationality, and as such it's about giving individuals treating them both fairly and giving them as much freedom as possible. These are so-called, enlightenment values, which are to me like stage 2 and full human ideals. And the problem with that is that, well, in stage 1, the subhuman level, you actually still have a lot of stage 0 ideology. So the stage 0, the animal, the chavi ideology, which is about doing things for yourself. So what you'll notice is that in stage 1 society, so all, like traditional societies, males still, like for instance, really act in ways that benefit themselves instead of their society. They'll try to sort of outcompete each other. They'll not necessarily be very cooperative. They'll be more cooperative than stage 0, but there's still a strong stage 0 element, and the reason for that is that stage 1 mentality of that's like social conformism is stage 1 mentality, and that's beneficial for the tribe. But the thing is that at the individual level, it's also beneficial to retain stage 0 behaviors, and which is why if you just remove the stage 1 social normative rules, you'll see a partial reversion to stage 0 behaviors, because the stage 0 behaviors, the animal behaviors, never completely left. And this is, for instance, and I don't know if this is relevant here, I don't know if this is your kind of thing, but nowadays one of the things we're seeing is like, oh, feminism gives people too much liberty, and so what happens is we see a reversion to the polygyny of the sort of animal societies. And yes, that's because we've evolved to both have stage 1 and stage 0 behaviors simultaneously. And if you remove the stage 1 only, and of course the reason you're removing stage 1 is to go to stage 2, but the problem is that most people are too primitive to really properly adopt stage 2 values. So if you remove the stage 1 instead of going to stage 2, in part you'll see reversions to stage 0. And this is why, for instance, you have this issue of polygyny and like what they call like hypergamy, and so what I've been talking about in my videos, which includes things like males being like, quote, incels, like I am myself. And so like what I want to say is that like fundamentally the problem is not like feminism or whatever you want to call it. For me, feminism fundamentally is about treating individuals fairly, all individuals fairly, and that is something that I absolutely support because it's a stage 2 ideal. It's just, to me, it's a fundamental principle that you should treat all individuals fairly, which means giving everyone the same freedom and opportunity to live as you want. Um, but the problem, of course, is that there's a stage 0 animal mentality ingrained into most people's brains, and most people are too irrational to try to fight it. And so you'll see these sort of odd behaviors that come back out when you just eliminate the more traditional social rules of stage 1. Um, um, so wait. So what are you? So why? So I'm trying to just figure out what this chat is doing. Like, why? Do you want? Would you like to actually discuss this? For some reason now I only have one viewer apparently. I I don't I don't understand this, and I don't understand why this is. So at this point I've presented my whole idea, but unfortunately yesterday I had sort of better viewers. Here I'm not having like productive um productive discussions. For some reason, you're still following me. I'm not sure why, but it would be actually good to have a bit of feedback, and I'm not sure um, why not. Like it'd be like if you don't have much feedback, especially now that I have just one viewer, I don't even know who that is. It's not really as useful for me. This is a pain also because I'll have to edit this out um, when I'm doing it. So do you understand this? This is my um, 3 stages of evolution. And so for me, well, basically you could say that my aim here is to help people really fully implement stage 2. Um, and this is also something that's interesting as I relate it to, yeah, I don't know if you know the Kohlberg 6 stages of morality. So essentially the first 2 stages correspond to stage 0. The second 2 stages, stages 3 and 4, correspond to stage 1, the sort of traditional society mentality. Stage 5 is a sort of transitional between stage 1 and stage 2. So it's sort of like the quote Enlightenment values, and so it's not yet full human. And then stage 6 is full human. So what he says is stage 3 and 4 is like conventional behavior, conventional belief. So the belief that if other people do it, then it's the right thing. Um, and stage 1 and 2 is like basically if I have something, if I get punished for doing something, then it's bad. So like the only thing that determines morality is whether I get punished for it or not. Stage Stages 3 and 4, which is why so the levels 3 and 4 of Kohlberg's levels of morality corresponds to my stage 1, which is traditional society, and that's basically if other people think it's bad, then it's bad. And then level 5 of Kohlberg, which is the intermediate between the traditional society and full human society, that is this idea of social contracts. So it's more like if people collectively kind of, in a informed manner agree to do something, then that is what determines morality. And level 6 of the Kohlberg levels of morality, which is the final level, that is what corresponds to my stage 2 of human development, which is the full human level. And that is where you believe in a full universality of ethics. Which is absolutely what I believe in. Um, so uh, so that's that. And so I believe in universality of ethics. So I actually don't believe at all in separate stages. I don't at all believe in like moral relativism or anything like that. I believe fully in universality. I believe that there's one way to do things properly, um, and basically we shouldn't, accept there to be anything else. So in a way, it seems like a bit oppressive because we say, well, these other cultures that have other ideas of morality, well, we shouldn't let them exist. But what you have to understand is that the existence of these cultures, well, they oppress the individuals that are subjected to the rules of those cultures. Um, so basically, um, the oppression of other cultures through replacing those cultures with a more universally minded society, that actually brings the freedom of the individual. So to me, like the freedom of the culture is the oppression of the individual. Oppression of the culture is freedom of the individual. Okay, so it says I have one viewer, but apparently I don't because nobody's answered my previous request to mention to uh, say that you're viewing me. So I'm just gonna stop the stream for now. All right, bye.